Hi, it's Linda back again for part 3 of how to polish up your store's image. And my question today is, would you like your store to be more organized? Does it appear cluttered and a little bit confusing? I'm here to show you how to deal with products so that you amuse, don't confuse, and cash in on creative communication. Hi, my name is Linda McKendry, and I'm a merchandising consultant, and I've spent years teaching on the science and art of merchandising and display as it applies to point of purchase. My target audience is small, independently owned and operated businesses, but at the same time, corporations have hired me to give instruction and training and workshops to their dealer networks or their franchisees. So I'm happy to be able to share these things with you, and I know you'll get a lot out of it. Just a quick review. Image is identity. So it is ideal and individual. It is the picture reflected to the buying public and the community, and image created plus image maintained equals target marketing. So part 1, we looked at what is image. Part 2, we looked at the place that image, that means your property, the inside of your store and the outside of your store. And then today we're looking at the part 3, which is your products. And you want to amuse and don't confuse. You were looking at your presentations and you want to cash in on creative communication. So we're going to look at that for today. Part 4 coming up will be on people and price. I always say amuse, don't confuse. A product's image is its color, pattern, style, its shape, and its size. Goods to be sold must first be seen. And when I say that as my opening line in a seminar, to an audience, I can just hear them saying, duh, tell us something we don't already know. But the problem is, it's not that they are seen, it's the way in which they are seen that makes the difference. First, we want to departmentalize and categorize. I'm going to give you some examples of that in a minute. Group products based on color, pattern, and style. Leave space between individual display vignettes. This way the eye can rest and you can determine and distinguish one grouping from another grouping. Rotate products into the prime selling space. This is a customer's average comfortable reach to knee level in your store. Here are 2 examples from clients of mine. The first is a hardware store. So you can see that we have designed these vignettes that show the products that are come from the different sections of the departments. But then over here, separated from that, we have the backup stock. And then down here we have a little sign that's explaining some of the details below eye level where customers walking by can glance down and read that. This one is a small hospital gift shop, and these were designed in such a way that if they either had something that they wanted, like a seasonal item they wanted to feature, they would put them on these tables, or if they had one of a kind, only one item left, they would also display them here. And when you do that, rather than making something look like a leftover, you're actually making it look more valuable and important because you're giving it an important display. If you watched part 2, you saw that I was talking about edge control in Jasper. This is an example of the before, and you can see that we are actually more confusing than amusing. Our eye doesn't have any place to stop, and we're seeing too many things at one time. We're also noticing that we've got hats up here and hats over here, which is actually behind the till, and then we've got hats here. The ones that are going to sell are the ones that are eye level, which is bi-level. They're the ones that are within comfortable reach. So again, we don't have any departments that are clear. We don't have categories that are clear. And what we did after is in our next slide. I want to show you an example of creating a department for footwear. This is the before picture, and you can see the main aisle into the store is here. The bench for trying on footwear is here, but some of the footwear is over here in boxes, and some of the footwear is on display over here. And keep in mind that this column is actually this gray column in there after picture with the service counter on the other side. So we chose this area and created our little footwear or shoe department. And in the summertime, we have walking shoes, and in the wintertime, we would have ski boots. But this is done all away from the traffic aisle coming in there, so it's more comfortable for the customer and for the person who's waiting on them, much more convenient. Just a side note, this poster here should probably be here and not on the column, so that the column can be an architectural feature that's kept clean, and there should be no backpacks hanging way up here because they're out of reach and they don't belong to any of the, there's no category here for backpacks. So that needs to be removed. I want to show you how we created a different image by creating departments for the garments. Before I show you the details, look at how you look in the store, and the before and after. You can see there's a lot of wall showing, and it looks more clean and more shoppable and more like a place you want to come in and browse and kind of look for things. You can see what we did here is how we created these little vignettes all along the way and divided them. So instead of having front facing where you can only basically see the front one and then you have to kind of go down through all of them, when you do it this way, you can see more of what's available at a glance and shop them based on color blocking or category or type of fabric or anything that appeals to you. And we purposely did the bottoms on the bottom rails and the tops on the top rails. So this increased their sales significantly. We use the same fixtures. These fixtures are the same, but now you can see that we have all matching wooden hangers, and we also have everything color blocked onto there based on men's on one and women's on another, and a featured display here. We want to cash in on creative communication. And what that means is planning product presentations for profit. Now we do this by every display communicating something, and you're in charge of that. You have control over how you just make your display, so they should communicate something. You want to show your shopper how they will profit. You want to watch distance versus eye level, and we'll show you some examples of that in a minute. Theme and scheme to enhance the image, and work with light and height to enhance your store's image, and create areas for feature displays versus backup stock. Now here's an example. If a small store doesn't have much space to display things, you can have a feature display on the top of the fixture and you can have the backup stock underneath. In one case it might be hiding, in another case it might be on a shelf unit that's visible. But that works really well to show the customer what to do with the product, how to use it, what the features are, and then to have the one in the box. This is from my hardware client as well, and you can see that here we have a good example of distance versus eye level. The further away you are, the greater the distance, the higher you can put things to be seen, so that visibility becomes a factor then. However, if you want the product to be shoppable, it still needs to be within comfortable reach of the customer. Here we have a feature display showing some products brought together, some garden ornaments, and that makes a nice presentation as you walk into this area. And everything that you're seeing here is available for sale in here as well. Over here, this is a brilliant idea, I think. This is where the item, if you're looking down on it below eye level, you can see everything that's in here with the categories and the signs. And if you're looking at it coming from a distance, you can see what's below here. Because they've angled it, it's not going to fall off the shelf. It's all labeled. You can still handle it and touch it, feel it, examine it, and then make your decision based on the packaging that's also stocked nearby. So what is the takeaway from this? Ask yourself what your product displays communicate. Are there clear themes? Are feature displays close to backup stock? Put 80% of your products in prime selling space. So we've discovered that part one, which if you've missed it, you can go back and watch part one because we talk about what image is. Part two, we looked at the place and what to do inside, outside to increase your image, polish it up. And part three, we've just finished, and the next one is part four for discussing the image of people and price. For more retail repair help, just go to todaysdisplays.com, or you can check into the link in the comments below, because I believe I have a handout to go with this, which is a list of all the things that you saw in today's session. So we will talk to you later. Bye.